I want to move on to housing for a moment because the government boldly declared that they were going to facilitate 1.2 million homes being built in a 5-year period. Well, that's lagging, to put it mildly. Housing approvals are slow, completions are almost non-existent, and all the while we're experiencing a housing shortage. So we're talking about the energy crisis, but Pauline, the housing crisis needs a lot of attention at the moment too.
It does. James, again, government policy, this Labor Party that is government of this nation, I wish people would actually sit down and understand the politics of this nation and what the Labor Party have dished out to us. It all comes from high immigration, have no doubt about it. You can't bring people in the country if you don't have enough housing. We're short about 650,000 houses in Australia. You've got people, working people, who are living in tents and living in wherever they can, couch surfing, whatever, because they can't afford accommodation. You know, your rental is below 1% in most places throughout the whole country. So there's no rental accommodation. This was a farce that the government put up. It's like, oh, look what we're going to do for you. And they've never produced it. They never will. And they've put that $10 billion aside in a fund. And guess what? Not one house has been built. And I think it's about $35 million that's gone into administration fees, paying these executives huge amounts of monies. And you, the Australian people, you're led to the slaughter like a, blind sheep, and you don't know what the hell is happening. I wish people would understand, because you don't understand the impact it's going to have on us and future generations. And the housing is a big issue. In a country like this, we can't provide housing for Australians, or the great Australian dream of owning your own home.
Pauline, just before we go, I want to talk to you about the Greens. So if you're frustrated already, you're about to get even more frustrated. Adam Bandt's moral clarity is being called into question. I'm not sure it was ever existent, but he's refused to say whether convicted terrorists held by the Israeli government should be among the thousands of political prisoners that his party is calling on to be immediately released. He said in a statement, "We want all hostages released and we want all political prisoners released." But as I said, he doesn't want to say whether convicted terrorists should be released by the Israeli government. What do you make of the Greens' stance on all of this?
He doesn't want to say anything. James, they've been leading these protest rallies that are happening throughout our country. The disgusting protest rallies, pro-Palestinian, that are actually out there on our streets harassing, and the way they're treating the Jewish community in Australia. These are Australians, and the way they're treating them is disgusting. Actually, they're doing the work of these terrorists and these organisations that have infiltrated our country and pushing their ideology, and it's wrong what is happening. So the Greens are waiting or depending on their votes to actually come their way at the next election. That's why he's not game to say anything about it. You've got so many people in this country now. We've got over 800,000 people that claim to be Muslim in the last census. So we have real problems. I tell the people out there, go and have a look at what's happening in other countries around the world, in the UK, in France, in Germany, in Denmark, and other countries. That's where we're headed. Wake up, Australia. We are all Australians, should be living in peace and harmony. No one should be treated the way they are treated. Whether you're Jewish, I don't care who you are, whether you're from a background, a cultural background, this should not be happening in our country. And I call on our premiers and I call on our Prime Minister, grow a backbone and tell the police and our federal police and the military to do something about it and stop this harassment of Australians on our streets and in their homes and in their businesses.
Yeah, well spoken, Pauline Hanson. I appreciate you joining me tonight.